Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. I was and am um, getting the urge to share about moving and things like that. And I wanted to give you some advice and also share some downloads that I was getting because it feels like collectively there is a large group of you. So if you're watching this, you're likely one of those people who either have the desire to move or have seen themselves in the future in a different place, know they're going to move, but are not quite sure how they're going to do it. And so I want to share some advice as to why you got that vision, what you can do to help expedite your move along, and what really happens when you do move, because it can feel really scary in the beginning of your journey, especially when your gifts are opening. Um, because as you're quantum leaping, you are going to experience a reality that you've never experienced before. And if you choose the path to do the move, your identity will shift and evolve probably 2 to 3 times before you make your leap and your actual move. And it'll happen in a very divinely led, tower led like journey. And it's super jarring, but it's meant to happen in that way. And the stronger meaning, the more you're open to changing your life, the quicker it's going to happen. So if you have ever felt in the last couple of months with all of these changes and leaps that you are feeling called to move somewhere, or have been calling out to the universe what to do, it's because there is a path that is calling you. And again, like, everybody has free will, so it's going to be completely up to you to do what you want to do. Oh my god, I've had this feeling for a couple months. Yeah, I'd be moving away from my grandkids. Aww. Yeah, when I left the first time, because I've done this quite a few times. um I well, one, I left behind my beautiful nephew who I didn't want to leave behind. I also left behind quite a few other people who meant a lot to me. But there is a journey that awaits you when you're being called overseas. And if you're a highly spiritual person, which most of the people who watch my videos and manifest these videos, you are you are going to go on a journey that is specifically designed to expand your soul, expand your consciousness, and push you into your destiny. And so, what that really looks like is a journey of releasing your ego and releasing your attachment to your 3D reality. Like, I literally, I was like, how do you want me to explain this? It was just like, avatar, avatar, avatar. There's the scene, where um the animated one, like, he's being taught, is it Aang being taught about their attachments to the world, and they're clearing their chakras, and they're telling them what to do when they get to their heart space, and all these things, and then the crown, and like the ultimate detachment. And that's where people get stuck. And it's not about you forcing yourself into an environment of fear and all those things. It's literally what your soul has been contracted to do this lifetime. Your soul chose to do this. And sometimes it'll happen a lot quicker as well if you've been resistant to your path and the earth is ascending at a certain rate. It's almost like you're playing catch up. I want to move now, but I'm waiting for my son to reach 16 births. He needs his passport. How old are they now? And where do you live? Are you not able to get them a passport before they're 16? I've been working with my ego struggle. Thankful to be on this path. Yeah, it's a very um it's a very enlightening path, but I will say, having done it so many times and experiencing the type of lessons that you learn, always surround yourself with community, but also remember that you're going to be caught every single step of the way, even if you feel like you're not going to. So begin making the plans for yourself to move, even if you don't know when it's going to happen, right? So if you don't have luggage, get your luggage. If you don't have a passport, like we're talking about, get your passport, get whatever is necessary. Speak to the universe about where it is that they're likely leading you. And sometimes it comes right at the last minute, so you can't try and freak out about it, and you'll just be swept up into another universe. And look at things like I tell a lot of my clients too, like, look at your phone plan. Is it going to work overseas? Do you have a bank account that you can use overseas? Like, get all of the practical things aligned, so then the universe knows that you're open to that path, and everything is going to begin to expedite itself. So if you have a business, you'll likely start to get certain clients before you go if you haven't saved enough money, or if you have, you'll begin to see the signs of where you need to go, and you're going to be pushed in that direction. And if you miss the window, because sometimes they give you a window, they will compress your finances until you make a decision, and then they'll release them and press them again so that you do what you need to do. Hi, chosen big dog. My son is 12. His father won't approve the passport sooner. Ah, okay. At 16 years old, they only need one parent. Oh, okay, I see, I see. So it's shared, like shared custody. Um, yeah. In the meantime, I would just, still continue to put the energy out there and see what happens, because what I will say is, even with situations like that where I've seen things be super dire, right? Like, there's no way this person's going to agree, or there's no way this is going to happen. But when I started to make the conscious decisions, I wasn't going to wait anymore, and I was just going to allow the universe to tell me when it was time to go, and allow spirit or my ancestors to do whatever needed to be done. Then the changes started to happen, and people started to change. It was the freakiest thing. Like, it was just like one day they were like, hey, you know what I've been thinking? I've changed my mind and blah, 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 blah. And it was because of the energy. Like, I was no longer in, okay, I'm just going to wait. It was like, this is my decision. Universe is going to back me somehow. Um, so continue to stay positive and continue to do your visualizations. And I will say that, like, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with everybody. You are going to experience like the worst ego deaths from like the moment you choose that path to like being overseas, because when you choose that path, spirit is literally evolving your soul. And so you get stripped away of your old identity, which can include, you know, finances or things going missing. Like, the last two times I've done this, my entire identity, like, okay, the first time someone was siphoning, and then my entire identity, I had so much fraud because of it. I had so much fraud. I had to fight for my identity. I made it through the first leap. And then the second leap was, now that I had my identity, what was I going to choose to let go of? And then once I jumped another timeline, my old identity crumbled. And it was like everything attached to it crumbled. Not in a bad way, but in a very like, my ID literally expires on in like a week, and this happened and I have to renew this, and if there's duplicates of anything I own, half of it is gone. Like, it's like you'll start to see these severs begin to be made, and it gets really quiet, and that's when your ego starts to go a little bananas, a little this is exactly what's happening. I get what I need to get by. Yeah, I've minimized my household recently. Yeah, you will always receive what you need to do what you need to do. You won't receive mostly beyond that unless there is a reason behind it. And sometimes there is a lesson in the management of the money and resources in order for your soul to expand. It would take a miracle. I have been trying. You don't need to try. That's the point of the miracle. Miracles happen when you stop trying and you surrender it. It wasn't until, so for instance, with my dogs, like this is a good example. 2 years ago, like a long time ago, um, my friend had a vision because I was like, what the am I going to do with my dogs? And she was like, oh, I see them with a woman. And I was like, what woman? So then I kept searching and searching and searching and searching. And at the end of it, like even though I had gone through all these cycles with my one of my parents, and um it was really rough healing and all these things. The minute I just gave up, the minute I gave up and was like, God, just tell me. My mother comes around, she was like, I don't think you should have those dogs adopted. I really want them here. I think it would be good for them to stay together. And I was like, is this? Like, so things will happen in a very, like, very miraculous. Like, and never in a million years, trust me, with the relationship that I have, never in a million years. And I was like, still suspicious, still suspicious. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to trust and see what happens, because the way I was doing it wasn't working. The way God wanted it to happen, miraculous. So I just let it go. I just let it go. I was like, okay, what else needs to be done? Show me where I need to go, and minimize your stuff. Every time I would go on a leap and needed to travel, I got rid of everything. Like if I knew Spirit was sending me someplace warm, I didn't keep my winter clothes. I didn't like have a bunch of boxes of stuff. I donated everything because I didn't need it. I didn't want energetic attachments tied to wherever I was leaving, unless Spirit was specifically telling me, hey, you need to keep that box. Spirit was like, what do you need it for? Like, you only need a small amount where you are going. And I was like, okay. So then I would keep giving it away and giving it away and giving it away and giving it away. And I'm like, do you want me to sell this? No, give it away. I'm like, okay. And they're like, don't worry about the money. And I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden the move started to show up. And then my identity started to shift and new things started to come. And then all of a sudden I was on a plane in a very miraculous way. Very miraculous way. Like, this last time I moved, it cost me $50. And there was a group of other people who were also trying to move. They were trying, right? They were trying. And I was like, how much is it? And they told me, and I was like, wow, that's like a good amount of money. But I didn't really say how much it was because I knew that God was sending me wherever I needed to go. So I needed to not think about how it was going to be made, because I was slowing myself down. So if you are still getting these visions, like, prepare yourself, even if it feels like it's going to be down the road, and let go of your sense of time. Yeah, I was unemployed too. I had my business. Like the first couple of times I did my leaps, I had my business. The first time, everything fell to crap, right? Still made the leap because God told me to. The second time, God told me this time, get rid of your business. No more income. I couldn't even get unemployment. And somehow, like, the right people got me home to my parents' house, and I was able to stay there. And then someone else walked into my life, and then I went on a whole year journey because Spirit was like, just do what you're told. I was like, okay. I was like, I've seen these visions. I don't know how this is gonna happen. But our minds and our way of thinking are never going to be as miraculous as the universe. Ever. When you get into that miraculous energy, you will realize how beautiful life is. And it doesn't mean that, you sit around and do nothing and all these things. No, I made sure that every single step of the way, I was so tuned in to spirit that there was no way I couldn't hear what to do next. There was no way. And if anybody made me question, I didn't listen to them. And I didn't take advice from anybody who wasn't experiencing the same things. Like, I had people in my circle who were spiritual, but they were fearful. They were very fearful, and they were also very, like, closed-minded when it came to spirit or universe or Buddha. They only believed in ancestors, which was fine. But when you are taking these leaps of faith, and I'm going to do another video on this, like, you have to do your healing with your church hurt, because your connection to spirit is going to be blocked. Because I know a lot of people have been in the church or are part of the church or are not sure. Like, there's a lot. And I've been the same way. And I had to heal that so I can get connected again in a way that was more authentic to me. Wow, I guess I need to work on letting go. Yeah, it's not easy, but it's worth it, because God can step in very miraculous ways. There were times when I would go to sleep and I would wake up and have money in my account, and I have no idea how it got there. I had no idea. I couldn't, I was like, I have just enough to get home. I don't know how this happened. Or, God would be like, pack these 3 things. You're going to need it 9 months from now. I'm like, 9 months from now? And then my money tanked. And then I had just enough items and would go buy certain stores, and I would sell these high priced items, and it would get me another month and then another month and then another month to where I needed to go. Not saying everybody's going to travel like that, but as I was taking these leaps with these journeys and spiritually expanding and allowing God to lead me, because that is what the lessons are, is how deep am I going to surrender? How deep? God was like, how deep are you going to surrender? If you have nothing, will you still surrender? And I said, yeah. If you're there, I've got everything. Right? And it was like, back then I was like, I might be crazy, but I let go. I let go. And then everything started to come back. And then God was like, you're ready. Go. And then everything started to move forward. But I went through these cycles until I learned what God was trying to teach me, what God was trying to show me. And I had to allow ancestors in to help me. And the minute I got on the land, it was like everything was taken care of. Even when I would travel around to different places and I didn't fully move there, I never lifted a finger. Not even my own bag. Because I was like, ancestors, if you're listening, I don't want to carry my bag. jokingly. And then the first person's like, don't touch your bags. I was like, thank you. There's a reason why you're going through all these things. And it's not like, just for you to go, like, piss away a bunch of money. No. Every time I did a journey and still do my journey, I know that my path is to be of service to spirit and to help God's children. Like, that is what I do for a living. And so everywhere I go, my money is always divided in many different ways. And if God tells me, I'm going to shut your business down for a week and I need you outside walking around helping people, then that is what I do. So everybody has a reason why you're being called someplace. It could be to be of service. It could be to learn your lesson. It could be to connect with your ancestors, to evolve spiritually. I just delivered a message to someone about going to Brazil. And I told them, I was like, they're showing me your birthday and all these things. And they were like, thank you. I needed the help. I said, yeah, you need to go on your birthday. You're going to meet your ancestors there. It's like, I didn't know I was Brazilian. You are. Have fun. There's many reasons why you need to go. I'm currently off work for medical crazy. tear my rotator cuff. Oh no, the source is in control right now. Yeah, sometimes source will do that, right? Take your body out in some way, shape, or form. I've had that happen. I went to the hospital about 3 times before I learned my lesson. Right on time. Yeah. Salutation, see the peace word. I've been letting go in all aspects of my life. Beautiful, especially with the latest planet transits. Yeah. There is no holding on. I have been called to surrender big time. Yeah. This energy is either you surrender or I'm going to push you down the stairs and you surrender. Like, there is no, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to think about it. I'll do it next week. No. These transits are like, I am coming for you. Sure, sure do. Thank you. Oh, y'all are sweet. I think I need to tune in. I think lately I am unsure. Yeah, if you feel unsure, it's just a busy mind. Like right now is a good time to be in meditation, and I switched tonight's Z School for the Gifted, so anybody's welcome to come. We do the live Q&A, but tonight I'm doing a yoga flow and third eye meditation to help people connect because this energy is so intense. And many people are being led on their path, but with Mercury retrograde and these other planets that are moving at the same time, there's almost going to be like triple the amount of blocks before you get to where you need to go. And so I don't want anybody to feel like it's not the path they're supposed to take. It's the path you're supposed to take. It's just there's extra energy that you need to get through. And sometimes when you do your energetic alignment, you clear your third eye, you can clear the energy more easily and you can stay grounded. Because right now, if you are ungrounded and you're trying to make decisions, you will create chaos in your reality almost instantly because it's fast manifestation. So you have to be really mindful about your energy. Hi, Zawadi. Um, I've been really well. Thanks for asking. I've been taking some time for myself. I started my cycle today, so I have also been in a yogi training. So I've been really training my body super hard right now, and doing other workouts and running and all these things and allowing my body to ascend as it needs to. So I'm a bit sore. I'm a bit sore, but it's necessary to be able to make these leaps, these Mario Brother leaps. But I've been really great. I feel like healthier than ever. And obviously, like everybody else, if my body needs to release something, I take time to release. And if I need quiet, I take quiet. Um, but I've been really well. I've been waking up a lot in the middle of the night and just staying up talking to God because God is like, tink, tink, tink. Hello, I need to talk to you until tomorrow afternoon. Like, okay, cool. I'll just stay in meditation for hours till my legs are done. Um, Hola, Zawadi. Buen dia. Popping in to say howdy and leaving. Have a blessed and safe evening. Have a beautiful night, Zawadi. Hi, Jamila. This energy feels so heavy. My sleep is horrible. Yeah, your sleep is going to be off. Having larger amounts of exercise is going to help a little bit so you can alchemize the energy. Don't get stuck inside. I highly recommend you not get stuck inside. Drink lots of cacao. I'm actually going to take a sip. I hope you. That sounds amazing. Yeah, everybody's welcome to come tonight. I changed it to Wednesdays at 6 because everyone voted. And the classes have been intimate because it gets a little bit more intimate during the holidays, but also this energy is doing really funky things. So if you're wanting like a quiet space to like tap in and vibe and drift to sleep afterwards, I highly recommend you come. I hope you get to have some peace and time for rest. Yeah, I feel like the next 3 days, that's exactly what God's calling me to do. Because my cycle came early. And so I was like, all right. All right, I'll rest. It's so cold out in Michigan. Oh my goodness, I bet. It doesn't really get cold here. It's like Santa Barbara. I don't know if anybody's ever lived there, but it's like always 75 degrees here. Here it's like always 80 to 90. And then sometimes at night it cools off, but it's been hot. On a usual week, 6 is early, but it works some weeks. Oh, yay. Did you vote in the poll, Jamila? I went off of everybody's vote. And I'll be doing stuff on Insight Timer. Get excited for that. Um, but yeah, I do want to say, and I did just want to be super honest about the journey of, traveling overseas, and just knowing that even if you are in hardship and you're worried about hardship, do your best to raise your money frequency and heal your lower chakras so you can clear those channels and bring in what you need to get you over there, because it's going to be quite miraculous, and the fear will keep you stuck. It will keep you stuck and you won't be able to make that leap. And most of the time, once you make that leap, money will get released to you so that you can live a little bit more comfortably. Um, and your ancestors are going to step in to protect you. And usually, if it's a certain place, you probably have ancestors there, even if you don't know about it. And they're going to be there to shield and protect you, just like spirit, just like the archangels, just like deities. Then there's going to be people in that city that you are likely going to need to meet. It's like putting the puzzle pieces together wherever you need to go. And it'll all be very, very divinely led. You don't have to worry too much about all of the planning. I will literally just say, like, do what you need to do to make yourself comfortable. So that way you feel good as you are going through. For instance, I prayed a lot before any of my trips, and a lot of my friends when they started moving, they had trouble going through customs and clearance. And I always tell myself, and I pray, and I'm not wearing a cross right now, but I usually have a cross, so I have a rosary, because that is what's important to me. And I also have Ganesha and Buddha and all the things. But when I was really scared, because I would have panic attacks and have had PTSD and all sorts of things, and been houseless, like, I always told myself, when other people would project, I was like, if God wants me to be there, God will move mountains to get me there. And it always put me back into my body. And I remember going through clearance, and I was like, don't be weird and grab your necklace. They're going to like do all these things. And I was like, take a deep breath. If God wants you to be here, God will make sure, even though I was already off the plane. And so I walk over, and they're like, they didn't say anything to me. And I was like, great. And I got a long visa, and then went to get my stuff. And then I just heard my ancestors in the back laughing. And I was like, this is a very, like, I was so grateful. But you have to accept your journey, and remember that you are divinely led, and remember your magic, and remember that the universe is backing you. That's the difference. Is when you were living your life before, or however you're living it right now, the universe is backing you, but you're not quite good at receiving yet. And so when you get better at receiving, and you can receive the universe, because the universe is infinite, you realize that things become a lot easier, like so much easier, divinely led. And the funniest part was, one of my friends, she's very, very psychic. She messaged me and she was like, why do I feel like I got stuck in customs, just so that I can tell you how to not get stuck in customs? And I was like, well, it's totally fine. I mean, I made it through anyways. It's a very, like, we just go with the flow. Like, your energy will always be reflected back to you. And if you go with confidence, and if you go with assurance, and if you go trusting, you will be okay. Um, yes, but I didn't vote on time. Jamila. Yeah, insight. I've been wanting to move to the UK. I'm also seeing Canada. I would love to be overseas to live with my sons. Aw, the UK is great, and so is Canada. I'm a giver, but not used to receiving. It's very common. Most people are used to having to give because of the systems we've grown up in. we're used to giving everything we own, everything we have, all of our money to systems, to people, in order to get a fraction of what we deserve. And so you have to learn that very slowly. And this energy is teaching you that. I just had a meeting with someone yesterday in person, because sometimes I coach in person, and you know, I had a long conversation with them about their inability to receive, and even down to their language. And so I challenged them. I was like, "You're so in your mind." I was like, "Take another 3 days of silence to be with spirit. Don't talk. Don't talk to other people. Turn your phone off. Don't be on social media," like them specifically. And they're like, "Well, sometimes there's construction." And I was like, "You have an excuse for everything. How is God going to talk to you if you have an excuse for everything? If you are constantly thinking about the next thing that has to happen, or how this is going to get better, why not just let spirit help guide you to the way out? But clearly your way isn't working. So be quiet and listen." Right? Because being able to listen to spirit and be in line with the universe and be in flow is the ability to receive. When you are not in flow with the universe and your manifestations are not coming in, you are not listening, you are not receiving. Because that is the only language that the universe speaks. When you stop yapping, energetically, physically, mentally, spirit moves in. So remember that, right? Like seek moments to connect in everything that you do. Make your whole life just about connecting. From the moment I open my eyes, I immediately drop into connection. And I wake when it's dark. I just sit in silence. I pray. The first thing that comes out of my mouth is thank you, God, for giving me another day to breathe. I cannot wait to see what you want me to do. Where are the children that I need to help? And then I'm like, ooh, depending on how I feel, I'm feeling a little bit this, or I'm feeling a little bit this. And then I'm back to being quiet. And then the rising is just me with spirit and the sun and movement and breath, and working with my altar and lighting my candles and making my cacao and not looking at my phone. And then when I'm ready, maybe I will listen to something. And then I will get into work. I usually have a schedule. And on workout days, I fit that in too. But it's like you have to be able to receive, and moving your body is also being able to receive. But the imbalance comes is when you move your body so much that you can't receive. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a balance of training your body, because you must build resilience in order to listen to God, or listen to the energies that are trying to work with you, and overcome your ego. That is why there's also yoga and many practices, and running. And when you look at many yogis are very strong, physically, mentally, spiritually, because a strong body is a strong mind. It's a strong energy. And so when you start to become lethargic, so does your energy. So does your connection. I need that quiet too. This sounds so peaceful. I want this type of experience daily. I feel out of balance. Yeah. Everyone, feel free to let me know in the chat what you're doing first thing in the rising. It's really important, because if you cannot master stillness and balance and trust when you awaken, it's going to be harder when you're overseas, because it's a new environment. And sometimes, at least this time, um spirit plopped me in a place where, out of all the languages I speak, this one was the worst. And so it's almost like you have to be able to regulate It like comes in stages. Just because you move doesn't mean it solves everything. That's what people make as a mistake when they're trying to manifest. They chase their manifestations as if everything's going to get better when this happens. No, everything gets better when you get better, and then you can enjoy your manifestation. I'm mostly in my head daily. Yeah, are you meditating? I have free meditations. If anybody can go to my link tree in the description and go to my insight timer, I have free meditations on there. But even silent sitting for a good amount of time is going to be very helpful. But I just want to remind everybody that prepare your physical belongings, so that puts you in the energy of you're accepting change. Let go of the past as much as you can. You have retrograde right now. A lot of people get frustrated with Mercury retrograde. I love Mercury retrograde. I kind of see it as like batter up energy. Like, I'm like, bring it. What did I miss? And then it's like, see you later. Bink. No. I always like to say Z passed her tests. Get into that energy. Um, so prepare your things, get rid of the past, do some scripting, write out what it's going to feel like. I actually was so deep in meditation. For anybody who's new here, I don't know if any of you know, but I do a lot of psychic painting and psychic drawing. Um, and I've learned how to very easily just look at the future as a seer. And so it just comes out of me like 24/7. And so I used my creativity to be able to know where I was going, pieces of the puzzle. But when I felt like I was a little confused, I ended up just drawing what I wanted, which usually ended up being the future. And so I kept this notebook that I got from like the dollar store or something. And I just drew myself in all these different places. And then I ended up in those places. And God would tell me, paint today, paint. And I was like, okay, today I will paint. And then it was like an ocean. And then I saw these dried plants. And if you haven't seen, I posted about it. I said my painting led me overseas because what was happening was my paintings were matching physical scenes. That's what I was glimpsing in. And that's why I'm always telling people, whatever your creative gifts are, those are directly from source. If you are confused, use them to help guide you if you are not good at meditating, because you're likely channeling the information, but you're not good at tapping in on your own sometimes. And when you do your creative stuff, you're likely a whole lot happier. And so you're going to be able to piece together the things that you didn't see before. And so when I got there, I was like, oh, I'm exactly where I need to be. Because it matched the exact wall. I was like, oh, okay. So then I just started taking snapshots in my energy so that I knew where I was going. You can do the same. Needed this reminder. Good. Thank you. See, I'm linked up. Yay. I've been disconnected from my gifts this year, has been difficult. However, I needed this video to get the reminder. It will be difficult sometimes. It gets difficult sometimes when you experience hardship, but the hardship is there to help quiet you and help you choose something different. I don't like the way it comes, but I get it. Like many times, I was like, do you always have to do it like this? And I would make fists and I would get so mad and I would just break down. And then I could finally let it go and just be like, well, I was being a stubborn ass. So, yeah, somebody had to snap me out of it, or else I would never get there. because I was deciding that I was the best person to plan my destiny that I didn't write. You know what I mean? Like it's like you don't know what you're doing. You don't know the path. So the best way to get to know the path is to get to know your connection to spirit, which will also reveal parts of you and your soul. That's why it's called a soul calling, and you follow your soul because your physical body and your mind don't process information the same. They don't have the same markers. That's why it's difficult because you have to spend a good amount of time allowing your little monkey brain to be able to understand something that it can't see. And the brain is like, I don't understand that. So it's like defrag, 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 defrag. That's what meditation does. It's like defrag, defrag, defrag. Set back to old settings. You know what I mean? This is very true. I need to tap in. Thank you so much for sharing these beautiful messages. Absolutely. I'm just glad it, found Trevor it needed because the move overseas can be quite different, and some people can move quickly, some people move slower, but time is just like it doesn't exist, and so when you start to see the signs, just take action even if it feels strange. And for my flight, I asked God to show me in certain ways. My flight, I was like, when do I need to go? The whole page said 1:44. And so I was like, okay. And then I had like this like freakish discount that ended up being, well, it only ended up being $50 by the end of it. And I was like, well, so when you get the signs, ask spirit and ask your guides to make them obvious so you can't miss it. But allow them into your life so that they can actually do what they need to do. Ask them to speak through your technology. Ask them to speak through people. Archangels and ancestors, when you allow it, they will come through in physical form all the time. But you can't be scared of it. And you have to know that you're speaking to the highest vibrational ones because those are the ones that will come. If you're scared of it, they won't come. I let go of my dad. Doubt. You don't have to say if you don't want to say. Um, I'm glad you're able to let it go. And then when you journey, right, everybody share your story because you never know who's going to need it. And also, I just want to say if you're liking this video, I am launching on Friday my travel channel. It's called the Travel Savage Diaries, and the top part says Wandering with God. And so I'm going to be sharing like very miraculous stories in my day-to-day life, and so you can see what it looks like. So you can literally see how I follow the signs and what I do so you can get used to it. So then it can be like a blueprint for you when you begin your travel. And also, you'll start to see the signs that I see. Will have already seen it. You just didn't know that you were seeing it before. Um, and in the first video, I actually share a very kind of creepy, it's long story. Um, and it's about Michael Jackson actually, and a run-in with God, and like something that very miraculously happened to me. And the cover of the video says a miracle I didn't expect. And so I'm talking. I begin it, with some certain scenes and all of that, but a majority of it is me telling the story and talking about miracles. So I'm gonna do my best so that when things come into your life, you're not scared of them. Because if you have anybody in your life or you feel doubt, you will be scared of them. Like a good example was I was standing with someone. I understand how my guides speak, and so I don't hang out with, I mostly am by myself all of the time unless I go to a workout or something, or I'm going to grab tea. I am by myself because I can't hear God when other people are around. And so there was a time when I went somewhere with someone and I felt like this person had a message, and I was like, oh, someone's in their body for sure. And I went over there, and then they walked straight to me and they looked me in the eye, and I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm excited to see what comes out. And then they asked me a random question, super random, but obviously not random. And then the other person who was nosy comes up and like looks at them and interrupts them. And it's like, rule number one, you never interrupt. Two, if it has nothing to do with you, you never interrupt. Three, you travel alone so you can get your messages. And in those moments, you have to kind of just stick to your energy, and that allow the message to come through, and don't rush it, because your ego is going to tell you that something weird is happening, or whatever. And I've learned to just ask questions, or I'll say like, tell me more. And then it's like the message unravels. It begins to unravel. Like I have to, they're basically telling you like, can I speak to you? But they're doing it in a very weird way. Unless it's an archangel, they will just blabber if no one's there, and it'll be very strict sounding. Um, and I turned to my friend because I was annoyed, and I was like, be quiet. Like, this is not for you. This is a message that's very important. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, but because they don't understand the reality, they don't see it. They don't get it. They don't understand. So I invite you all, seriously, to to get that channel. It's called the Travel Savage Diaries. I can also drop it in the chat if it's easier. And follow, because I'm going to be sharing as much as I can, as much as I can. And if you ever have, you know, $22, because class is only $22, come to class and ask questions whenever you need, um, or book a tarot reading, like whatever, because I'm happy to teach you. And the more you become enlightened, the easier it is going to be to understand. Because many people can be seers and receive things in the 3D, but it's your inability to release your fear and doubt that keeps you from a reality that is quite magical, and literally the coolest thing I've ever seen. Right on time. Yay! You will be subscribing. Awesome! And it doesn't stop there. So even on the days where I will wake up and be like, what the am I doing? Right? I will walk outside. There they go in someone else's body to give me that message, because I refused to go outside that day. And I'm like, let me go back. Let me go back and get a hold of myself. They will be there to catch you. They will be there to carry you. It makes me emotional to think about like how many times have you been in doubt and they still caught you? Like how many times have you been doubtful lately and this video still showed up for you? You know what I mean? Like you have to remember how miraculous life is, or else you will consume yourself with pain. It will be so consuming. It will be so consuming. I know it sounds weird, like even being houseless or having my body like taken advantage of, even in those moments, I had to dig deep to remember the miracles and the joy and the love. Otherwise, I would never come out of it. I had to fight for it. I had to fight. And so I asked the other side to help me every step of the way. Send me the people to help protect me. Send me the people to heal myself. Send me. I can't feel this pain anymore. I don't want to feel this pain anymore. You tell me life is miraculous. Show me, right? Ask the universe to show you. I want to live a magical life. This is your beginning, right? This video popped up for me. I truly stopped thinking about my dream of living overseas. Don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. Many times I tried to give up, and even leave this earth, which I've talked about before, given my own past and things like that, and what the ego will tell you. And I'm so glad I never did. I'm so glad I never, even on the hardest of days, I'm so glad I didn't do it. And when you live a miraculous life, are any of you wanting to be entrepreneurs? Let me know in the chat. When you have a miraculous life and you become a miraculous entrepreneur, which is what I also teach, magic to market, like, okay, so you want to, your business will even be miraculous. It will not follow any sort of template. It will not follow, because if God wants you on a certain path, God will decide how your business runs. God is the only one who decides. And I have found myself learning this lesson over and over and over again, that no matter what I did, no matter what program I joined, however big the person's page was, nothing worked because God didn't want me to do it that way. But I was so blinded by, like, but they know what they're doing and blah, 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 blah. And then there went my money. There went my money again. God was like, are you going to be yourself now? Nope. God's like, are you going to create that thing now? Nope. There went my money. There went all those things. And I tell people all the time, on paper, my life, my business does not make sense. Logically, it doesn't make sense. The way I create doesn't make sense. How many times I've gone from no views for like months, and all of a sudden God goes, and I'm like, wow. And then it's like God says, okay, it's time to heal. Slow it down. I'm like, ooh, what are you doing? It's like, we've done this before. Take a deep breath. It's like, can you just go do like the thing? And I'm like, that's the lesson every day. Be yourself. Yeah, be yourself. Be yourself. I think my custody case made me give up on my dreams, as most of what I want to do is not here in the US. However, I love being my son's mom. Oh, that's beautiful. I have a case going on too, not for custody. Give it to spirit. But it's life becomes miraculous when you allow it. When you allow it. And I never get tired of sharing my life if anybody ever has questions, because for the longest time I lived a life without miraculous moments, and that was because I didn't know how to see them. And then I realized, it's like, why is my family always calling me lucky? I'm like, I don't know what kind of luck you think I have. And then I realized, oh, you mean God. Ah, yes. I believe God will always answer my prayers. And so that is my reality. Right? You have to create a different reality. I had to see myself overseas and match that reality, and tell spirit, thank you. I will go whenever you go. And when I almost gave up, my guru came. Just like I'm here for you all, right? When you want to give up, a message comes just in time. Because spirit wants you to stay on that path. Your path is too important. Your joy is too important. Spirit is fighting for you even when you can't see it. Allow someone to fight for you. Yes, you are very gifted and magical. Thank you. I needed this message today. My divine appointment. Yeah. Exactly. I love miracles. Learn to love them, and you will get them all of the time. It's so fun. Like, I don't even have a way to explain it. Like, it's everything just perfectly lines up. Everything down to the minute. If you slow down enough, like, everything just lines up. My friends the other day were like, "Oh, you're going to be late." Obviously I have gifts. So I was like, "No, I'm going to get there with 2 minutes to spare." And they're like, "Why do you know that?" Because I'm aligned. I walked through the door, 2 minutes to spare. I was like, great. Everything becomes so meticulously aligned. I'm like, oh no, I need this many pesos today. Oh, I need this. Oh, God's got that. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to go take a nap. Who is this person? I'm going to go check it out in my vision. You have more time to do the things that you love. I miss having fun. I miss laughing. I'm so serious most of the time. Why are you so serious? Why so serious? What makes you laugh? You need joy. God doesn't want you to be sad by any means. The only reason why we get sad is because we don't listen. Literally, like that was one of the biggest things I had to learn on my journey. And it's also why, I don't know if many of you know, but I have Icarus on my back. I will turn around. I have Icarus on my back that Spirit had me get because I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening. I got in trouble. And we feel all the sadness, pain, and all these things because we don't listen. And we're like, like, why does it have to be like this? God's like, what the hell is wrong with you? I already told you you're safe. It's like, nah, I'm not safe. I'm going to go scream about it. Whatever. I'm trying to get you to this miracle over here, but you won't look out the window. My baby's doing silly stuff, hearing them laugh. Oh, I have to be the adult. It sucks. Bills. Try to find gratitude for everything. If you have low frequency with the way you see your bills, trust me, the way you do one thing is how you do everything. If you do not have gratitude, it will be very difficult to manifest. Have a more positive outlook on your life. It is needed. Do it for them if you cannot do it for yourself. There was a point in my life when bills were negative. I felt very negatively about it, and then I realized that, gee, they wouldn't feel so negative if I didn't feel negative about them. What am I spending my money on? Oh, wait, it's God's money. God, what do you want me to spend the money on? How do I use this money? Can you send me a financial someone to teach me how to do this smart? My brain was the one that was making it difficult. My own poor decisions made it even more difficult. My negative thinking made it awful. And so I just kept manifesting an awful outcome. I will do anything for my sons. I will learn to see more positive. Yeah, because they will be a reflection of you. If you are negative about it, they will be negative. And what is the point of raising them with so much pain? You know, you wouldn't want them to go through the same experiences that you've had. So do your best. Do your best. Do your best. You've got it. It's not always the easiest. I know. And even myself from time to time, but I have so much gratitude. And when I truly simplified my life, it became easier, right? Because there was a bunch of decision making that was making it harder on myself to feel comfortable. I couldn't go overseas like that. I couldn't even feel positive about money. How am I going to handle it overseas if I can't handle myself? Why would I do that? Like energetically, it doesn't match. The highest version of yourself would not be feeling that way. Channel your highest self. I remember when I would sabotage myself in the past and not pay my bills. And I was channeling my higher self. And I wrote across the paper all big, pay your bills, bitch. Literally, verbatim. Was like, all right, I'll start with one. You know what I mean? Was like, yeah, it was causing me pain and heartache. And if I was smarter about my money and made different decisions, it wouldn't be so hard. And so that's what I did. I worked towards it. I created documents, I saved, and the more I had more positive energy, the more my money went up. I love that you will do your best. Maybe this is why I'm still in the States. I need to work on my thinking. Yeah. God releases you when it's time, because otherwise you are just going overseas with the same mentality. What is the point of that? The whole point is to move and have fun and be on your journey. The move is not for you to escape. God doesn't make paths for you to escape. You cannot escape. That sounds dark, but you can't. Hello, Noemi. Good to see you. God has thrown me all over. LOL, I wish to have eased this time. Yeah. Then take all of Teach C's advice. Work on your mindset and come to class whenever you can. Happy to help you more. And for anybody who is on the journey and wanting extra time, or you're welcome to work one-on-one with me. I will teach you everything I know and help you with your cognitive reframing and healing your trauma. That's what I specialize in. I'm rewriting my brain from trauma. Yeah. It's important. It's really, really good that you make time for that. That's why I do it full time. Because people live in suffering until you can ease the mind and things like that. And sometimes not every trauma can be just released through meditation. Not every trauma. And it can be complicated depending on your social dynamic and where you live and all those things. Some people can do it, some people cannot. I also believe in not just you meditating and feeling better. I believe in you impacting generationally and then globally. So my teaching is a little bit different. But it's spiritual and cognitive because I came from the sciences. So I do both. Thank you. Likewise, light and love. Thank you so much. Definitely mindset. When you are an empath, it's like I pick up others' energy. I cleanse my energy a lot. Yeah. You will pick up energy all the time. Just work on your shielding. And personal boundaries. Because your personal boundaries are a reflection of your spiritual boundaries. If you have poor boundaries, you also have poor energetic shielding. Yeah. It gets easier. And you will be more sensitive to it, but with time, it gets a lot easier. Right? I have anxiety. It's a process. Meditation helps big time to be present. Yeah, keep working with it. You can drink Blue Lotus or oat straw for your anxiety, especially right now. Healthy communication and awareness of how we carry our power. Our power, absolutely. Yeah, happy to share. I'm gonna get going in a minute so I can rest before the 6 p.m. call for whoever's going to be there. Again, tonight we're doing yoga and third eye meditation to kind of ease people. And I'm gonna have a new link for the class schedule because I'm over the Google Calendar and it's just not working very well. So if you do want to come tonight, book your session. I don't remember if it's 30 minutes before or an hour before, but it's 4:50 and we're meeting at 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. EST. Think you drink what? Blue Lotus or oat straw? Sweet, I love yoga. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Happy holidays. Thanks, everybody. Again, let me know if you, yeah, happy to share again. Again, let me know if you need anything. I hope this was helpful. Just continue to focus on moving overseas and healing yourself. Remember, the more you elevate your mindset, the closer you will get to moving. So keep going. You've got this. Obviously, it's aligned for you and it's going to happen. That's why this video is in front of you. And check out the description for all the resources. Everything is there, and it's the Travel Savage Diaries. You can go subscribe. I'm going to be sharing. And the very first episode, because I'm turning them into episodes, launches on Friday. So, day after tomorrow. And I will be sharing as much as I can on there. Woo! All right, everybody. I will talk to you later. Have fun. Be safe. And keep elevating.